everyone's excited to know who you are. So, hello and welcome back to Black Balance Fitness TV presents the Financial Fitness Forum interview with the boss. Allow me to introduce our special guest tonight, an ambitious young entrepreneur from Team Prosper in the Unity hierarchy. 15-year former successful salon owner, phenomenal single mother, and one of the fastest growing agents I've ever seen in the industry, building a national team of 50 plus associates and hitting a director promotion in less than 3 months. Up and coming junior broker looking to quickly make a name for herself in the agency as one of 2021's newest MD senior brokers, my friend and colleague, Miss Dana Wilson. Welcome to the show, Dana, and thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Absolutely. So tell us about Team Prosper and what your experience has been like in the agency in this short time.
Right. So I'm afraid, I know I'm supposed to enter in some information, but I'm afraid to touch anything because I'm on a different phone than I usually use them. It probably comes up as my dad's name. The family is using my phone to stream Welcome to, what was the movie? Coming Back to America? Well, Coming to America, right? So family's over there enjoying the movie, and I'm here, and I promised that I would join you today, so I'm here. As far as the agency, PHP, I'm sorry, what was the question? How has my experience been?
Yeah, how's your experience been so far in the agency?
It's phenomenal. I mean, normally as a hairstylist, I would probably still be in the salon right now, probably until about 9:30, 10 o'clock. So I'm very blessed and I'm fortunate that I'm home right now with my family and they're able to, enjoy the movie while we're here. And so, yeah, that from itself is a blessing.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you're from, how did you get started in the financial industry?
So I started as a hairstylist back in 2005. And I initially wanted to go, I went to college for marketing. But then life happened and I realized that I had to get out into the work field and start earning my own income and become independent and take care of myself. My mom was in the military and she wanted to move back home to Chicago so that she can be around her family and her mother, who was getting older. And she said, you know what, you're 18, go figure it out. Or I was 19 at the time, go figure it out, figure life out. So I dropped out of college and went to beauty school. And it was never really truly my passion. I did enjoy it and I was talented at it, but I loved the business side of it. So I decided to open up a hair salon after going, from different salon to different salon and traveling and doing weddings and such. I decided to open up my own salon. And shortly after that, I became a single mom. Sometimes there's a challenge in relationships where you guys kind of don't meet head to head, or you don't see eye to eye, and that took place in my relationship with the kid's father. So I said, you know what, I'm going to be successful no matter what. That's just how my mindset was. So I decided to close the salon and go into life insurance. So this was back in around 2016. My best friend said, Dana, you're a businesswoman, you're business savvy. Why don't you come join me? We're making a lot of money. We're doing big things. So join my company. And I did. And that was back in New Jersey. So I was doing pretty well. But I did not like the salesy side of it. I didn't enjoy chasing leads. I didn't enjoy popping up at people's homes. There's, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, Lemetria, but there's a whole nother side to this industry than what we experience at PHP. So I left that alone and I decided to go back to doing hair. I became a hairstylist all over again. And at that time, I realized that there was a method to becoming successful as a business owner and an entrepreneur. And it was committing yourself, your entire self, taking away like all of the distractions, buckling down and just saying, I'm grinding this out and I'm going to do this. And no matter what, nobody's going to get in my way. and it was just that. So I decided that I was going to stay in a salon that I wasn't truly happy with. I wasn't running it. And I mean, a lot of us come across, jobs in the work field that just doesn't fit right? And I think that is what motivates most people to say, you know what, I need an opportunity. I need something different that's going to still provide for my family, but give me the freedom to be me and not be restrained or held down by somebody else's standards or, that you don't align with. So I stayed in that salon for about 2.5 years. And then I said, you know what, I'm definitely ready. Like, and God did what he does. And he took me out of that salon, bumped heads with the owner and said, you know what, enough is enough. And I mean, I don't usually get into the details, but since we're having this type of interview, I might as well just share with everyone. There were times where like cameras would be on us and he would call and say, what are you guys doing? I see you doing this and I see you doing that. Have you ever experienced something like that?
Yeah.
Working in it? Yeah, right? Nobody wants that. And it makes you so uncomfortable. It's like, it's toxic.
Yeah.
Nobody should be working under that type of condition or under a microscope. And as women especially, we don't, that's an invasion of privacy. I remember there were times where I'd like be tweezing my eyebrows. It's a hair salon, like I'm putting my makeup on and I get a phone call laughing and joking about whatever it was I was doing, and it's just uncomfortable. Like, can I have a piece of privacy? So that was just one experience that I had gone through working with him, and I just like, I need to be on my own. And not only that, the time demands of somebody else saying you need to be here at this time. And in my industry, in the hair industry, we're 1099s, just the same as we are as life insurance agents. As a 1099, nobody is your boss. Nobody can tell you where to be, what time to show up, to force you to be on meetings or run appointments. Like, we're self-contracted. So in the hair world, even though you're 1099, the owner still expects for you to show up like you're the boss, like you're the manager to their business. So there was always conflict in that. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to go off and do my own thing again. And I opened up my salon. It was actually a studio, so it was just me. But I took the same strategy that I had learned through the years of being a hairstylist and an independent contractor, and I put it into my studio, and I did amazing. I was making in that year that I spent that time in that studio by myself, I made $80,000. So I have a huge, coming into this, I said, you know what, I have to replace that income. COVID hit. I wanted to stay home with my kids because they're only 10 and 8. And it was just like, okay, I've done both before. I've managed a business. I've done insurance. If I could combine this in some way, shape, or form, then that's my dream. That's my goal. So I had did a little like credit repair, and I was doing a couple different things on social media. And I came across a girl, and we were working together, and she met somebody that was in insurance, and it sparked in my head again. I said, okay, I can do that again, but I do not want to go in strangers' homes. That was a no-go. I knew that was not going to work. So I prayed on it. And literally a day later, I got a DM from Marcus Franco, who is both of our director. And he kept it really simple. He just said, hey, you seem like a sharp individual. What do you do professionally? And my response was, I'm in the financial services industry. Oh, so am I. And it literally just went so smooth. I instantly felt confident enough to work with this person, right? Because I know sometimes we get messages, which I had gotten 3 from other people in PHP. And we get these messages and they're like this long. And they're telling you everything about what this person's dream is, what this person's vision is, but it never really talks about me. It's not, when they send those messages, it's not about how, it's not really building a relationship. It's just this cold script. And I knew that was not somebody who I wanted to be coached or mentored by. It was somebody that would send something that long and that detailed. So that's how I landed in PHP. And I said no 3 times because I wanted my life to be perfect. and I wanted to have an office. I was looking for a 3-bedroom house at the time, and I said, you know what, I need a separate office if I'm going to do this, because I have my kids and I want to be sure that everything's in order and perfectly aligned. And Marcus said to me, Dana, if you don't do this, what else are you going to do to get you to where you want to be?
Right.
And that's when I was like, all right, if somebody can, put your priorities in place for you, then obviously you can trust, your not necessarily your livelihood, but you can trust them to a certain extent to at least coach you and mentor you in business. So that's how I ended up with PHP.
Wow, wonderful. That's awesome. That's really interesting. I started in cosmetology myself. I went to cosmetology just after high school. But yeah, it was too much drama. It was too much time, very time consuming, and it wasn't right for me either. So I can totally understand moving out of that industry. Not that it can't be lucrative or fun or like you said, there can be talent there and everything, but hey, if it's not right, it's not right. Um, and so tell me a little bit about Prosper Financial, known in the agency as Team Prosper, and what your plans are moving forward, going into big event this summer.
Big event. I'm so excited. So I'm just hitting 4 months, right? On the 28th, I'll be exactly 4 months with PHP. So big event. What month was that even in?
We had one back in January.
January. Wow. How time, tell me, like, time flies. Time flies. The streaming, but time flies when you're in PHP. Like, time goes by so fast, and it's a good thing, and it's also like, it's a little scary, because Team Prosper, I had already changed my social media name to Dana Prosper before PHP, and because, as I said, I was already in the credit, like I was doing credit repair on, networking through people and marketing, and doing credit repair through Facebook and Instagram. So I already knew that, I had a goal to help people with their finances and just help them become more successful in that area. So that's how the name Prosper came about. And the team in itself is just, it's crazy how PHP has a system in place where we can grow nationally. And then we have things like Big Event where we can all just meet up and link up and meet each other in person. And it's such a special thing. Like, we were just in Austin, and that was crazy, because we're virtual, we meet people through Zoom, but when you actually get to be with them in person, it's like a whole nother level. So yeah, I'm looking forward to MGM big time. It's gonna be crazy for all of us to be in the MGM stadium. That's nuts.
It's gonna be nuts. I'm so excited for that as well. So let's get into this interview. I really want to get down to some of the critical questions here. So let's start with, how would you describe your leadership style?
My leadership style, I can describe it as your friend, like your best friend that just really wants you to see the best in yourself. And yeah, that's how I kind of lead. I am not Mr. Mallet.
Okay, we're back.
So Mr. Eric Mallet described me as he said I was like the mom, like I'm like that tough mom that that loves you, but I don't think so. I definitely think more. I guess I can be. Sometimes that click that like plays in my head sometimes when I'm kind of giving a little coaching, um, because I do. I mean, I genuinely from my soul want to see people do better and see the better in themselves, and know that they're capable of anything. Because people sometimes are all the time limit themselves. It could be limiting beliefs can start from your family, from your friends, from your environment that you're in now, from history, from your past, or it could just be something that you have within yourself. And I mean, even me, I fight my own limiting beliefs. I'm like not. I'm not the camera person. I don't want to publicly speak. I'm learning. I'm getting better at it. But so that's what I would want to hear somebody tell me is basically what I tell other people. That's how I lead.
Okay, absolutely, that makes sense. And I like that you mentioned that how you pour into your team members, into the people that you mentor. That's important. Um, absolutely.
I think the most important thing is finding a place where you can do that, because even as a manager, when I would manage franchises in the hair salons, there was always like some kind of restriction, or there was some like strict, like defined guidelines to how you could actually mentor or coach people or train them in the hair industry. And it just didn't feel right for me. In this situation, the fact that we're all independent, there's less of that, like, this is my authority, this is my boss, and my manager is going to come down on me and tell me. We don't feel that way with PHP, because like I said, we already know that this is my independent thing, this is my space, and this is your space, and we collectively just work together to try to build the whole unit, right?
Exactly. And I think having that friendship quality really helps with your business partnerships as well, especially from a leader standpoint.
Right.
Absolutely. So, what are some common misconceptions that you've either had about the business or encountered about the business?
Common misconceptions. Sorry, I'm a real person. Common misconceptions. Oh, a lot of times the number one reason why folks always tell me that they can't, even look into PHP and what we do is time. I have a lot on my plate. My hands are full right now. I really just don't have time. I'm doing this other business. That to me is the biggest misconception, that PHP is going to take up all your time. Because as you and I both know, there's 3 different types of ways that you can do the business, right? We have referral agents, which I think is awesome, especially for realtors. I still, Dan Elias, he was a realtor and it worked for him. And I'm still trying to figure out how to help realtors see how valuable this is for them in their business, and being able to provide an additional service for their clients. So that I think is the biggest misconception, is that it's so time consuming. So you have the referral agent, we can do this part-time. I have tons of agents, all my agents work. I do this full-time because I already kind of had a background, right? And I already knew kind of how the insurance industry works. And I also know that if you really commit yourself to something, it happens a lot faster. So like you said, you see me and you're like, okay, she's done this. Like, she's one of the fastest people I've seen do this. It's because I have already learned that really is what it takes, is just saying, this is what I'm doing, and not trying to step out and do other things. And then we have full-time, right? So we have 3 different options. And I think that's just the biggest misconception, is that this is like a time-consuming thing. So,
absolutely, I would totally agree. I think that people think that not only that the business takes a lot of time, but that it'll take a lot of time for them to get licensed or to pass the test or things like that. And it really doesn't. Like, you can really move through very quickly. And there's no, time limit, or, you don't got to wait 90 days to promote or anything like that. Like, it's all on you. So, absolutely. I think that was a very smart answer. So tell me, Zaina, how do you handle critical feedback from a mentor?
Don't pick up the phone. No, I'm just kidding. No, I always answer. And I have pretty thick skin. So, and I think our mentors, they're really good at the way that they coach. Um, I have thick skin, but I am still very sensitive, and I have a boundary, right? Like, and I think that's a smart thing to do with any business, because we're all human. And if you don't create a boundary, then humans obviously are just gonna, do what they think they can handle, right? Like, just like I said, I treat people how I would want to be coached. I lead my agents the way I would want to be led. So of course my upline is going to lead me the way they would want to be led, or the way that they've been led and what was successful for them. So um, I always define the boundary. Like, this is a no-go. This doesn't work for me. I have hours, I have family, and I speak up. So that's I am in this. For us, there's a whole, like I said, it's the system. There's a respect factor. And even when I went to MMA, like in Austin, I realized like there's such a high level of respect for each individual in this company, where my previous company, they wanted me to drive an hour and a half to go do phone zone, right? Like, their phone zone was held an hour and a half south in Jersey, which means I would have to take like 2 different highways. I had little ones. My kids were even smaller back then. So, and there was no like, and I said, well, how about I join? I'm pretty sure I recommend, how about I join, through video, and I'll just call from my home. No, no, no. We need you here. We need you to drive your hour and a half. So PHP, I think the way that they've adapted with COVID, and that there's more options. Like, everybody's open to options, to trying different things. I've made a lot of suggestions to how to better things, so that it fits for us Zoom babies. um, and yeah, they're always listening. They're very respectful. So I don't have I don't have too much complaining to do when it comes to how I um, respond to the upline.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel the same way. It's very respectable. It's absolutely an adult environment. I hate to go to a workplace and I feel like I'm in the high school lunchroom. Like, that's not cool. Nobody, no real adult business person wants to work that way, where they're being micromanaged or talked down to, or anything of that sort. I think, like you said, I know that I can be a bit sensitive, but me knowing that and me understanding the level of respect that's given here, I know not to take that personal, so, you know, it definitely gives you thicker skin, and absolutely, yeah, the feedback we get here is good. No complaints from me either, as far as um, how leadership handles those types of tough conversations. So,
They give us books. That's what they do. Here, go read this. Okay, right. Okay, right. When I first came in, I made a post about that. I said, the sign of a good person is somebody who recommends a book to you, because that shows that they truly want you to grow. And I had a lot of books thrown at me when I first came into PHP, and they've all helped me, not just in PHP, but my outside life as well, with my kids and my family.
absolutely, that's for sure. I definitely started reading on a whole other level when I started here. I've always been sort of an avid reader, but mostly recreationally, just different, types of fantasy books or whatever. But reading for your own personal and professional development is completely different. Um, but absolutely worth it. So that's for sure. Good point you brought up there. Um, so tell me, what experience do you hope to gain along this journey?
What experience do I hope to gain? I can say like the first thing that I took away, my first takeaway. I always will go back to this. I had gotten on a meeting and Fred or Marcus had messaged, I think it was Fred. No, Marcus had messaged me and said, "So what was your takeaway?" Right? And I said, I want to be like that excited, like as excited as Natasha Blair is, as excited as Fred Terrace is, and I want to be able to like yell from like the top of my soul just to be like, I love this. This is crazy. I'm like so excited about what I do every day. And they have that every day. And I can say like showing up as a hairstylist, I got that. At some point I mean I wasn't screaming from the rooftop, but I had a high level of devotion to what I was doing, and you could see it in the way I treated my business and how I treated my clients, and even the girls in the environment around me. Every day I was walking to work, skipping around, hey, hey, and I want that. I want to create that here at PHP, and I know I will. My goal is to open an office, and last month it was the goal. This month is the goal. I've grown, and I've learned that there's more to this than just saying I'm just going to jump in and do it. And I want to be responsible with the way I go about my business, right? Like I don't want to just wing it and try, trial and error. I do want to be extremely responsible because I respect the company, and I would never want to like start something and it turn out, a little messy. I'm not, and then that tarnishes the name of the company and my upline. So yeah, that's what I would like to gain from being at PHP, is finding that that high level of devotion and passion in this company, the industry.
Absolutely. I know exactly what you mean. That the vibration is so high when they come onto the trainings. It's like whoosh, like through the roof, like a whole nother level. And I think some people that follow me kind of see, I usually post at the beginning of the trainings when we're in the pregame, locker room warm up kind of energy, and it really does feel like that. Really does feel like you're getting hyped up for the big game, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot to get up there to that vibration, but I know what you mean about like so excited for that journey, so excited to get there.
I know for a fact, like it's hitting certain levels of success and
right.
kind of realizing that moment that I'm doing this. In the beginning, you're like, okay, I'm just moving through it. I'm doing the best I can. And then all of a sudden, it's like, wow, it's like riding the bike, right? And then you're no longer on your pedal, you're training wheels. You're not wobbling anymore. You're just like coasting. You're like, oh, I'm doing this. Next thing you're like, oh, I'm riding my
bike. Absolutely.
That's definitely like, so it's gaining that level of confidence and actually seeing the results is what builds that. Yeah, because in the hair industry it was the same thing for me. It was like, okay, I've left this salon, and now I have this space, and I have people coming in. Because my first salon, I had actual, I had a hair braider, I had a nail tech, and a girl that came in and did makeup, and it just really like it took. Obviously, I started off, I had nothing in the room, nothing on the walls, and I'm like, okay, I'm here. Had a couple clients here and there, and then all of a sudden my salon was packed with like friends and new clients and people getting their services all done, and that's when it clicks, and that's when that vibration, you're raising your vibration at that point, or it has been raised.
Absolutely. And that actually leads perfectly into our next question. Tell us, what accomplishments are you most proud of?
I'm very proud of the speed that I have been at. The fact that I am, again, it's just like proving to yourself. I'm proud that I mastered, like I realized I mastered like the art of becoming an entrepreneur, and that I'm able to articulate it. And I've been working a lot on my story on Instagram. Each day I try to, especially when I get out of meetings, because the vibration is so high and I'm like excited. I'm like, okay, I can go tell people, this is what I learned today and these are my thoughts. And because there was a time when I was in the credit repair, and I was, people kept telling me, okay, make videos about what you're doing, make videos. I was like, ooh. And now it's just becoming, so I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the fact that I'm I'm pulling it all together. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think when you master a skill, you hit that next level. It just gives you that momentum, that boost to keep going. I think that's definitely something to be proud of.
To be able to encourage.
That's a very unexpected answer, but I like it.
To be able to encourage other people, and like for me articulating it, I know that it's reminding other people like, okay, I can trust her because I've seen she's done it a couple times, like this isn't something new. And a lot of times people want to hide their it wasn't failures, but they want to hide the steps that it took for them to get to where they're at. And for me, I'm very transparent. It's not by luck, and it's not by just some random chance or occurrence that I did what I've done. I've been doing what I'm doing in PHP. It's like there is a system, and it was great because at MMA we had like the meeting after the meeting after the meeting. We're all sitting by a fire, and George Palaio, our hierarchy, our boardman council board. I see council. I'm so bad with these titles, but I'm still new. But he was the one that said that if you literally take 12 weeks, and that's basically where I'm at, right? I'm at, well, a little, yeah, I'm over, but at the 12-week point was when it was solidified. It was like, okay, she's really here. She's not leaving. She's not falling off. That's when people started to really believe it and take notice to what I was doing. I mean, my name has always been mentioned, but even Fred, I talk about an office, and they're like, okay, we'll see. All right, we'll see. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. I had COVID, and my family, had family issues going on, and Fred's like, we thought you were going to leave. I'm not going anywhere. Trust me when I tell you. And it's all because I have learned I've mastered the commitment factor. And that's, if George Palaio is saying that, just give it 12 weeks, devote yourself to this for 12 weeks. That's all it takes. And then I've proven that that's really all you have to do. Put your head down and just write it out. Put your foot to the pedal and drive that car, and you'll be fine. You're anchoring yourself into this business.
Absolutely. Important. I think that's important to really see longevity in your career.
Right.
Absolutely. So tell me, how important are setting initiatives in a leadership role?
How important are setting initiatives? I have the questions here, so I'm just I think initiatives, meaning like when we incentives. Is that what you're?
It can be incentives or like goals.
Setting goals for people, right? For myself, or obviously for my my downline. When I came in, there were so many initiatives and incentives going. I had gotten a raffle ticket and I won an iPad, right, from George Palaio. And I had also hit a goal, a bonus. I think it was a 333, and I won $300. So I'm not gonna lie and say that didn't keep me, didn't drive me. It was great. And I always, I try to, like I said, I give pointers or what I think the team needs in the moment. So I'm allowed to use my voice and tell, upline, the hierarchy or the upline that, throw something out there. People like these. So they're very important.
Absolutely.
In a lot of places, I actually, when I prospect, I tell people that, like, if you want to get a reward for your effort, this is the place where you can do that.
I think recognition is very important. I think that a lot of people leave their jobs, their 9 to 5, because they don't feel acknowledged, they don't feel appreciated and recognized. So as a leader, setting the goals, and then also, the initiatives, and then also setting, incentives to actually reach those goals is important. So, absolutely. So, Dana, name the top 3 characteristics of an ideal teammate.
Well, I'm kind of cheating because I just read a book on this, so I'm just going to use that book. Somebody that is humble, somebody that is hungry, and somebody that is smart, which honestly, that's not even cheating because that legit, those are great qualities to find in someone. Yeah.
Absolutely. Our SVP just off the cuff recommended a book while he was talking, and he was like, "Yeah, I think it was this. Yeah, look at this book up here." And then he goes on through his thing. It's always at least 1 or 2 books mentioned during training. Kind of get those names of those books down, and either find them somewhere, download them on Audible. They're not mentioning those books for no reason, people, like, that's for sure. So absolutely. And you're right, someone who's humble, hungry, and definitely sharp, smart, intelligent person. So tell me, Dana, what are the most important skill sets to learn or implement as an entrepreneur?
Skill sets that you want to learn and implement as an entrepreneur. Just commitment. I don't think a lot of people understand that. I mean, people do when it comes to, like, obviously to show up. And I always gave credit to people who actually show up to a job that they're not happy at, right? Like, I couldn't do it. But so if you can commit to something like that, like for me, I committed to being a hairstylist for 15 years and I was not passionate. I was passionate about it. I was great at doing it. I don't want to say that. And I love people. I absolutely love people. But yeah, as an entrepreneur, taking chance, right? Taking chances, taking risks, trying different things. And yeah, so commitment, taking your chance, and trying different things, change.
Absolutely. Important skill sets to master. I don't think that a lot of people even really, I would say, I don't think most people acknowledge what the things that you mentioned as skill sets. But being able to really lock in and commit to something is a skill. A lot of people, like, we hear it thrown around loosely when we talk about relationships, like fear of commitment. That's not just a relationship thing. You can be afraid to commit to a job. You could be afraid to commit to a hairstyle. I'm that way. I'm being like, So it's commitment is a big thing when you it's and making a choice, and really, that's a skill. That's a skill that you have to have. Being able to change and adapt is definitely a skill. Changing can be tough. It can be hard. It can be crazy, confusing. Like, change can be, anything. So to be ready and adaptable to that, no matter what that change or opportunity may be, definitely important skill set. I agree. As an entrepreneur. So, Dana, I want to ask, how do the agency's values align with those of Team Prosper?
High morals and high standards. I love the fact that it starts from the top, right? Like, Pat Bet-David is such an intellect, and he actually, like, he's worldly. He likes to learn about what's going on in the world, and he doesn't act like he knows everything. He literally will show us the articles that he read, show us the process of finding out this information, right? Whether it's on finances, it could be, I love Valuetainment. I love his YouTube. I love his Instagram because it always stimulates thought for me. And I've been in some of the elite meetings with him, when I would qualify, and he talks about the economy in such a like colorful way where it's not boring. So me as a, you know, I myself, I try to instill that as well with my team. And every time I learn something from Pat, I'm sharing it. Whether it's, I like to, you know, I create messages and memes and whatnot for my social media. I will put up links and stuff, and like Rachel Rodriguez, she and I, like, she's into these types of things too. She's an intellect as well, or she likes to educate herself. So I, you know, share it. How else are you going to attract people? You can attract people, your cold market and people from social media, by just showing them a little bit about how your brain thinks, right? Because people don't know this. They don't know that you actually like care about finances or the economy or what's happening in communities, unless you share it. So that definitely is how PHP aligns with Team Prosper. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, awesome. I think that that's a great place to align, you know, definitely with the high morals and high standards. I think that educating our communities, which is a huge talking point, especially in the brown and black communities, educating our communities on financial services, especially, is so important. And
The
being able,
economy at a whole,
right,
because financial services is just the bridge to healing our economy.
yeah,
Having mortgage protection and having life insurance in place, I didn't, you know, I came from a family. My grandfather was an insurance broker. He was a realtor for our small town, Maywood, Illinois. And things changed when he passed away, and when the number of licensed insurance agents dropped. Obviously the economy changed, right? It has a shift, because what happens if people are passing away and they don't have life insurance? That's creating, you know, a debt in households. um, People are losing their homes, you know. Parents have to go work multiple jobs, and now their kids are home alone. Like, all these things happen when there's no life insurance in place, and that creates a dent in the economy, because now more people are needing government assistance. You know, this is how like financial services, not social services, how financial services play a part in the economy, and sometimes people don't even realize, like, that's the importance of it. It's not just say, okay, I'm gonna, you know, pass away and drop all this money off to my family. It's actually supporting the economy. These insurance companies have billions of dollars to pay out. Imagine if each person had an insurance policy and their family had $500,000 that, you know, they received, and how that could go right back into the economy and stimulate and boost our economy again. So those are the
absolutely.
topics that happen in the in the conversations that happen in the elite meetings with PHP.
Right, right, absolutely. And I think that not enough people really have the information that we get. Like, I think on a surface level, we sort of understand the whole generational poverty, generational wealth thing. When you really get down to the brass tacks of how to diversify your portfolio, how to invest your money properly and protect yourself, not just in death, but, you know, disability. If you live too long and you can't work, you know, that's a big problem that we also run into. You know, people that live, you know, beyond their retirement age, or live a little bit longer than they thought, and they don't even think, you know. Um, you know, one of the big things, you know, life insurance, especially being based off age and health, a lot of people feel like they're young and they're healthy and they don't need it. You know, well, if you should happen to need it, if you should happen to get disabled, or you should happen to, you know, lose your job because of a pandemic or whatever happens, if you should happen to lose a family member, you want to make sure that you're covered, not just financially, but, you know, in other areas. You want to make sure like you said, your mortgage, your house is protected, and that you're not going to lose that. You want to make sure that you can, you know, pay off or any debts, or make sure that you can transfer over any investments. And so, we do, you know, a lot more than just, you know, selling property. which is something someone said to me on another thing. Um, mentioned poverty pimps, but that's just, this ain't that.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't that. This is a very needed service, not just for the individual, but as Ms. Dana mentioned, as an economy as a whole. It affects all of us. So, going to the end of this interview, which has been totally awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. I want to ask, what advice or expectations would you give to a viewer who is looking to join your team? Say they watch the interview, they're like, oh man, she's exactly the type of mentor that I've been looking for. How, what's she like? Is she real? What should they expect from you?
I just, so the investment is not anywhere near what I invested for my businesses, right? And I think a lot of times people, it's like Marcus told me, you can get started today and love it, and we'll see what happens in 6 months, right? And in 6 months you can say, you know what, this isn't for me. A $199 investment it's just from everything that I just stated. If you have no knowledge of foundational wealth, why wouldn't you want to? And that's honestly, like, why wouldn't you want to just take that chance, right? Or just, invest that $199 and see what happens. And a lot of my recruits or my agents from social media, that's usually their selling point. Well, I need to know more. I want that education. You have access to the top 23 A-rated companies, and I can go sit in those meetings and learn more about life insurance for $199. That's all you need. I mean, of course, you have to get your license, and even that. So you say, this doesn't work for me. I'm not happy with this company. You can take your license and go still make money and still help families in another company. And so to me, it's just like, there's really no loss. It's a win-win. You're going to absolutely learn a ton about money, making money, saving money, investing money. You'll be able to protect your loved ones, all the people that are in your environment. Because if you believe in life insurance and you have it for yourself, why wouldn't you want that for your best friend? Right. God forbid your best friend passes away and they have children. Why wouldn't you want their children to be completely covered? And if you're gonna love yourself that much, you should love other people just the same. So that is definitely, I don't know, my selling point, or why I would say, like, this is not necessarily what you should expect, but why you would want to even just give it a try.
Absolutely. It's definitely worth the investment for the value.
And I'm not the only coach. So Dana may not be the perfect coach for you, right? Like, and I haven't come across anybody who felt that way, but we still have Marcus. We have Fred Harris. We're so lucky. Like, trainings, you get so many different coaches in different aspects. Like Kelly Sager and Caitlin Sager, they're awesome when it comes to, like, the technical stuff.
Kelly has been on the show.
What's that?
Kelly has been on the show. Caitlin hasn't yet, but Kelly has. So
Kelly was on 2 weeks ago, right?
Right. Exactly. So yeah.
I'm not the guru, but not yet. But we have tons of experienced people who are there to coach, and they're just a phone call away. It's just like the amount of support is endless.
Absolutely. That's for sure. So yeah, if you join Dana's team or the agency period, like you said, lots of support, great leadership, and great value. So Dana, tell the viewers how they can get in contact with you.
Let me just give this a try. Oh, it works. Okay. So I'm going to type in my phone number. 05886. it is a New Jersey number. And Dana, obviously I have to put this in because I am using my dad's. I'm putting in my Instagram. It's Dana_Prosper_. And my Facebook is the same. Dana Prosper.
All right, y'all. So don't be afraid to reach out on social media, Instagram or Facebook, or hey, just give her a call up, right? Phone number is right here in the comment section. Her information will also be included in the description box of the edited video, which will be posted later on our YouTube channel. So thank you so much, Dana, for coming and doing this interview tonight. It was absolutely wonderful. I look forward to having you on the show again in the future. I look forward to coming on to your platform and talking to the people, teaching the people, telling them all about our journey of success here. I hope you will be back and join us again for upcoming group forums and things that we have coming on. Are there any closing statements you would like to make before you leave out?
Just live your best life and don't allow the world to create the boundaries in your life. You set your own boundaries, right? And run with it and have fun. We only have one life, so make the best of it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much again. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Watch replays of this interview and others on our YouTube channel, Black Balance Fitness TV. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, stay physically, mentally, and spiritually fit. Have a good night.
Good night. Thank you for inviting me.